All right. All right. So, welcome to another Go Green training here. It is Halloween, October 31st, 2024. And we're excited to jump into today's training, share some
Uh-huh.
wins, go through an agenda of kind of some stuff we're talking about today. And Matt has an awesome training for us in just a moment. So, before we kick it off here. Just want to do a quick little bit of intros. I know we've been doing these the past couple sessions, but the team is small enough. I think we can kind of keep it a short, sweet intro. So I know if you said it before, there's new people on the call. Just give us your name, give us your history in the solar or just in sales in general, and then where you're coming from in the country. And I'll go ahead and kick it off, and then we'll just go popcorn style, whoever wants to jump in. So, Jonathan Wilson, I've been doing solar now. This is my 12th year. And I am coming from Rancho Cucamonga, California. So go ahead and jump in.
What's up, all? This is Chris. I'm in San Diego. I've been doing solar for a little over a year. And yeah, Matt recruited me. And yeah, I think that was it, right? What was the other
Yeah,
question?
that was it. You got it. Short and
That'll
sweet.
work. That'll
Thanks,
work for
Chris.
now.
What's going on, guys? This is Jackson Schoenfeld. I've been in solar for this will be my fourth year, and I'm down in South Florida.
Cool. Welcome.
This is Jeff. I've been in solar for 2 years. I'm in Central California.
Cool. Welcome, Jeff.
Do we have? Yeah. Chris, if you want to go, you can.
Yeah, this is Chris Seibel. Jonathan recruited me under Matt at Sunrun, and back in I think it was a year and a half now.
Yep. Sweet. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate
Yeah.
having on.
Eric, we're just doing a little intro. Just a little bit about yourself. How long you've been doing sales or in solar, and where you're coming from. We're just doing a little introduction.
Okay. My name is Eric. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida. I've worked in the past for Microsoft Corporation up in Washington State. I really enjoyed it a lot. I stopped doing sales. I started to facilitate groups and seminars, and now I'm back in sales.
Cool. Welcome,
Love
Eric.
it. And I guess I can go next, and then we'll leave Ronik for last. My name is Matt Crowther. I've been in solar for 12 years. Installed 750 systems in my career personally, and 10, 15,000 in my leadership management side of solar, mostly with Sunrun for 7 years. And yeah, I'm just stoked about what we're building with this and where this is going to be going in the next year. So
Wonderful. Wonderful, guys. Ronak here. I started in solar years ago, similar to Matt, 750, somewhere around there, probably close to 1,000. Personal installs, don't know how many as a team. Now I mainly work with Danny Pessy on all of his businesses in a technology role. So excited to be on with Go Green here. We just onboarded. Danny Pessy is going to be providing training with you guys in the months to come. So we're pretty excited about this power relationship here with Jonathan and Matt, and excited to meet all you guys.
Cool. Welcome, Ronik. Sweet. Well, hey, we did that in 5 minutes. That was fantastic. As long as we keep these short and sweet, I'm cool with doing check-ins as we kind of build the team momentum. Super awesome to have all you guys on. We've got coast to coast on the call. So before we get into the agenda, some upcoming trainings, let's just share a couple wins to kick us off. I'll go ahead and start. So last Saturday, stole a little tiny deal from Sunrun. They had it was a 6 kW system, Tesla Powerwall. Sunrun had them at 208 a month with 3.5 escalator. It was a referral. They had already were deep into the process with Sunrun, waiting on permits. Actually, came in, sniped it, got us switched over to Sonova, got them on a zero escalator with a comparable monthly payment with the better equipment, Tesla battery as well, Powerwall 3. They're stoked. It's a mini, it's like $6,000 commission, but hey, 6 grand is 6 grand. And they're excited. They're a part of my Filipino network. They've got a whole bunch of, they're like, we're going to have a party once the solar goes up and we're going to have people over and they're already talking about referrals. So anyways, wanted to share that win. And then, oh, I think he just hopped off. Once Jeff hops back on, I want him to share a win. But anyone else who has a win they want to share, go ahead and unmute yourself.
And it can be like a personal win, just because a lot of the team is pretty much brand new. Feel free to share a personal win, as well as like a business win, whatever you're feeling inclined to share.
Finally had an install go in after 9 months, 10 months. It was with SunPower. It was with Bright Planet originally. Then it got switched to SunPower, and then SunPower went out of business. And so we switched it over again. Same installer, luckily. It was an installing dealer of SunPower. So they kept the job, just kind of changed up the financing. Had that go in. That was a 22 kilowatt.
Hell yeah. Jeff had to hop off. I'll just share his win real quick. So we've had 3 installs of his go in recently, and he's getting some momentum up there in Central California and like the Tracy, California area. And he actually pitched. He's been pitching referral programs that we teach here, and that's he's got some referrals come in, and he's starting to see the vision for maybe one day getting off the doors and becoming full referral base. So that's the goal here. We want to really continue to highlight that, train on that. Anyone on the call who is building, selling solar, that's kind of the thing that me and Matt are known for. We're in the top probably 0.1% of referral trainers and have trained on this stuff for a long time. So anyways, he's doing that. Anyone else got a couple wins we want to share?
I got one. This is my biggest month ever in solar. I did I think 4 installs and 5 signed deals, and I'm gonna make just over 40K in commissions.
Hey,
So
there you go.
stoked.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Good shit. That's what's up.
Yeah, and one thing that I'll share is a lot of the people on this team, especially in this winter, are kind of transitioning in, right? Like having been in solar for 12 years, been at 7 solar companies, like the transition is always tricky. So we actually have about 15 recruits that are coming on board, but they're just waiting for the right timing. They've already said, hey, we're in. We want to build this. I've got 10 deals in my pipeline. Like I want to get paid out on these and kind of start with a slow ramp up. And Jonathan and I both agree that that's totally fine. Like we want to support people as they make the transition, because solar is tricky where if your company finds out that you're making a move, then they're like, well, screw you guys, we're going to take your pipeline, right? And so sometimes running with that ramp up period, 2-3 months is very, very effective, just to make sure that you get paid everything, maximize your commissions before we make a move. So like just for the people on this team that are kind of making that transition, that's like you're going to probably hear that quite a bit, especially from a lot of our team from Sunrun. We just recruited a few people from Sunrun that they've got 10 to 20 deals in their pipeline. And so we'll be by January, February is when this is going to get crazy. But a lot of people are making this transition over the holidays, which is really fun to see.
Yeah, we had a guy, James, he just messaged me right now. He couldn't make it today. He just onboarded 2 days ago. He's finished his tier 1 training. He's got 11 installed in his pipeline with Sunrun. He just wants to transition out, do we say level up and become a broker, right? The difference between this and with what we're doing here is we're really building up brokers who understand a wide variety of different finance products, battery inverter panel products, and are really kind of next level experts and not just selling 1 or 2 products that the local EPC offers. So it is a little bit more complex, but it's if you've been doing solar for at least 12 months, you can probably figure it out. We'll be here to support. So let's jump into upcoming trainings and agenda, and then we'll get into the training. So big events coming up, probably the biggest event. Mark your calendars for this. So it's on Saturday, November 9th. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday. We're actually going to have the CEO of the Power Platform, Jonathan Budd, on and doing what we call a Solar Saturday event. They do these about once every 2 months, maybe once a quarter, bare minimum. And it's all the different platform updates. I can tell you there's a lot of big platform updates coming. I'll give you guys a little sneak preview. It's pretty for certain at this point, so I think I can talk about it. We're going to have GoodLeap TPO integrated fully with our Vision proposal software going live on the 9th, is what I've been hearing. That's been a dev process they've been developing, and that's going to be a big one. There's some new updates with LightReach and expanding rate caps in certain markets, especially in California. I know we've had some issues with rate caps and product compatibility. A lot of the AVLs are transitioning to the domestic product right now. You're going to hear a lot about that in the coming months, where companies like Sonova, LightReach, GoodLeap, Sunrun, all the big TPO providers are switching to domestic content. Me and Matt were on an amazing investor call last night with Jonathan Budd. It was mind blowing. Actually, once we get the replay of that, I'm going to see if we can get that recording. We'll pump that out on the Slack thread so you guys can give it a listen. I don't know about you, Matt, but I was fired up, dude. I was like, his ability to articulate a vision is like honestly nobody else I've heard in the space. And anyways, you want to say a couple things about that, Matt?
Yeah, it really got me fired up, and it's almost like the guy just has a talent of simplifying ultra complex, situations and scenarios in the solar space. So he's someone to learn from when it comes to how to like articulate and simplify. So I've actually been like listening to different recordings that he's done, just like learning how he presents, because his presentation, especially yesterday, was next level. And that's one thing. We'll also post the WeFunder account. If people want to get in on this, they're doing like an investment capital raise, and you can even get in as little, I think, as $500 if you just wanted to invest separately. One of the cool things with Power, once you get sales flowing, you'll get stock for your sales that you're putting through, and they have kind of a model around that. But if you wanted to just put some money into Power for the investment, they've got some really cool plans, and it would be well worth everyone going through that WeFunder account, watching all the videos, learning about what the next 3 to 4 years is planning to be for the company from a corporate vision and an executive level. But yeah, no, it was mind blowing. I was like mind blown after that investor call.
Yeah, and maybe like two quick highlights on it that just came to mind that would probably be valuable for you guys to think about is they're coming out with, in the next month or two here, they're going to have a really cool infographic that shows the top 10 markets for solar across the United States that are reaching what we call grid parity, meaning that the solar plus battery solution is cheaper, equal to or cheaper than the utility rates in that market. And so you'll be able to approach people in that market and basically give them off-grid capability with mostly 2 Tesla Powerwalls, in a system that can, in most cases, provide for 90% of the homes across America. So that was huge. And then they also touched on kind of the platform model and kind of the business structure in general. And anyways, it was a good to watch if you want to kind of understand how Power approaches solar. It's kind of unique in the space. That's one of the reasons why they're becoming a really big partner of ours, is that I think Matt and anyone on this call, we see the vision and where things are going, and I think it's going to be this decentralized platform. So anyways, beyond that, November 9th, it's 10 a.m. to noon Pacific if you're on the West Coast. I believe they have an East Coast time frame earlier in the day. I think they're doing it the same 10 a.m. to noon East Coast time. So they're going to have 3 different kind of replays of it. I think they're doing them all live. They're just going to do them back to back and kind of do it like a Sunday morning service, and pastor gets up and talks once and then does the same one again. And so, anyways, it'll be good. And that one, and then other than that, just want to drop some really exciting stuff coming. So we've got some agreements from some top speakers that we're going to be bringing on and doing mega live stream events with hundreds of people from across the Power platform. There'll be great, recruiting opportunities or just value adds to people that in the solar space. So we have me and Matt's mutual friend at this point, Alec Nethercott, who wrote this book, just came out, called 4 Core Leadership. It's all about sales management. Alec was last year on Forbes 40 Under 40. He's the one who's the owner and CEO of V3 Electric, one of the top installers here in California. I think they're like top 15 or something. Pretty big company. They've been around for a while. He's an amazing leader. We're going to have him come on and do a private training for Go Green on this Zoom room that we're in right now. And we should have, actually, it's going to be blasted out across the Power network as well. And we'll have, people from outside the organization joining that. So keep that in mind. That's probably going to be within the next month. We'll have announcements to come on that, but we're excited about that. Like Ronak mentioned, Danny Pessy, he's going to be doing a training sometime in the coming months as well. We're going to coordinate that. So our goal is every single month to have, top 0.1% leaders in the industry come on and share value with us and really, help us take our leadership and our sales and all that to the next level. And with all that said, let's go ahead and turn it over to Matt. He's got an awesome training for us. What do you got for us, Matt?
All right, let's dive into it. Can you make me the host? Just so I can share my screen. Okay, perfect. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so what I want to talk today about is the 3 pillars of solar leadership success. So one of the things that I've learned over a decade of leading solar reps at a high level, recruiting hundreds of people over the past decade, and also really kind of implementing some different strategies into just my solar business is the importance of understanding the fundamentals with solar. So I want to dive into these 3 pillars. So one of the things that you need to understand just as you start getting into solar as a professional career, if you're going to be doing solar and making, $100,000 to $300,000 or more in a year, anyone that is really making over 6 figures in solar is operating at a very high level. But like the funny thing about this opportunity is that it's almost too good. Like it's almost like there's too much opportunity, and sometimes I think people get a little overwhelmed with how good the opportunity is, with how much money you can make. I personally know people that are making over $1 million a year. And last year made close to $800,000 in solar on the leadership side, as well as personal sales. That was about half and half. 400,000 of that was my personal installs, and then 400,000 of that was for my team overrides. So when it comes to what we are actually building in the solar space, you have to understand these 3 pillars. So the first is personal sales. Now, I think that this is actually the first level of really, getting to that stage 1 of leadership. I don't know if you guys have read the book, The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell, but the 5 levels of leadership goes over these different levels to basically level up your leadership. And it kind of starts with just the responsibility of like, okay, he's a leader. He has the title. That's basically level 1. And then level 3 goes into essentially leading from the front, where you are leading with influence. It's the level of influence where you actually have real influence on people. I think that the personal sales side of this will always be one of the most important levels of influence that we can have when it comes to what we are doing and how we are leading people. So I just want to talk about a couple things with your personal sales and kind of getting those ramped up. The first one I would say would be having dialed in weekly KPIs, having a dialed in plan, and your KPIs are your key performance indicators. Your KPIs is really what is it that you are focusing and tracking on a weekly basis? What is it that you're focusing on? Because I told Jonathan this a while back, but for me, I've had a few KPIs daily for many years, and it's call 10 referral partners a day. That's like referral ambassadors that are already referring business. Call 10 a day, call 10 prospects a day, and then call 10 what is it? I think it's 10 prospects, 10 referral partners, and then 10 referrals. So like when you have a lot of referrals coming in, you have people that you can't get a hold of, or even text messages. Sometimes I'll count those as part of it. But having like a dialed in KPI structure is very, very important. If you're door knocking, the door knocking side of this would be 50 door knocks a day. What I preached, if you want to be successful as a door knocker, you need to be knocking 50 doors a day, and that'll turn into somewhere around 7 to 10 solid conversations, 7 to 10 solid pitches out of 50 door knocks. You've got to have dialed in weekly KPIs. The next is your schedule. So with our schedule, especially with what we're doing with this platform, there's a lot of flexibility. You have the blessing of autonomy in your life where you can, set your own schedule, you can set your own hours. That is a complete double-edged sword, because what I've seen, it's kind of like, one of the first sales companies I ever worked with was Cutco. And at Cutco, they kind of said, yeah, you got a flexible schedule. But there's kind of like a little asterisk. It's like, if you want to be successful, this is what your schedule should be, right? It's like you do have flexibility, but you need some type of schedule, accountability, some form of discipline that you're setting in your work hours, and so for me, my schedule is I work from 12 to 9. Sometimes I'll finish at 8. But pretty much my daily schedule is 12 to 9, Monday to Friday. And then Saturday, I'll work from like 9 until 5. And that's kind of my weekly schedule. I fit in my calls, my appointments, my recruiting calls, all of those things into that agenda. So it's not like we're ever going to ask someone to work 100 hours a week, like a surgeon will work who is making $400,000. It's crazy how much money we can make with the actual job that we're doing. So autonomy is one of the biggest blessings in this job, but it also comes with the need for accountability. And so that's why I have accountability in here. You've got to have your personal sales accountability goals dialed in. And that should be something that you are self-motivated for, that you're doing yourself. And for me, I feel like that's maybe one of my bigger strengths, is helping people to hold themselves accountable without ever smothering someone or micromanaging someone. My leadership style has always been very, very laid back. Jonathan could attest to that. It's fun. Jonathan and I working together now. I was his manager for 6+ years. And I'm sure that he would tell you, I never once called him and said, hey, are you working today? I just don't operate that way. And, I want to check in with people to make sure that they're successful in their goals that they have. But it really is about your short-term and long-term goals when it comes to your personal sales and your commission goals for how many sales you would like to be installed in a year. We could do another training both Jonathan and I could I'm sure share a lot of wisdom on how to reverse engineer your goals to match your schedule. And that could look like, okay, if you want to do 40 installs in the next 12 months, if you want to do 40 installs in 2025, we can reverse engineer that to how many calls you need to make per week, for how many appointments you need to do per week, per month, per quarter, in order to make sure that you're installing 10 every single quarter. And by the way, 10 a quarter, I think is very, very achievable for anyone that is working in solar full time. If you're doing this kind of part time as a side thing, a little bit harder, but if you're doing this full time and you're committed to it, doing 40 to 50 installs in a year, I think is very, very achievable. And at Power, that's one thing that I'm excited about bringing into the Power platform is more competition. One of the things that we're going to be doing and building with Go Green is a huge competitive environment so that we can be pushing each other, so that we can be pushing someone who is a top rep to get even better. Someone who their best year ever was 50 installs, let's double that and help that person do 100 installs if they want to. Right. And so it's all about your short and long-term goals, but the competition side is something that I think we're really going to be able to show people at a very high level. The second pillar of leadership in solar is recruiting. And this is knowing what you are offering. One of the things that I think is so valuable when it comes to recruiting someone is you need to have the confidence in what you're offering. You need to have the confidence in the company that you work with, in the product that you're selling, but really knowing what you are actually offering, I think is the key. And that in this model is you're offering a nationwide platform that people can literally plug in to selling or referring solar at whatever level they want to. It's really a beautiful concept. There's not the strictness of a corporate recruiting or a corporate quota structure, right? It's not something where you have to hit minimums the same way that most companies have right now with Sunrun. I'll just share a little story that I've been hearing a lot as I've been doing these recruiting calls with my old Sunrun reps, is they've been telling me about, they have a quota metric, and if you don't hit the quota metric, you get sent to Exile Island, which is actually called, I think, like Redemption Team or something like that. But I like to call it Exile Island, just because it's one of these things that, like, on the quota side, I think personally that Sunrun made kind of a bad call in launching that program that way, because people want their flexibility. People want their own life. They want the ability to do this business and do solar the way that they really feel like they're planning on building with. And with Sunrun, I feel like it's kind of like it's in a box, right? It's what it is. And granted, I worked with Sunrun for 7 years, so I probably know this better than most people. And I think that on the recruiting side, when it comes to the typical corporate solar structure, the fact that we have a nationwide platform, the fact that we have more autonomy, more flexibility, more ability to build in a wider scale, I just think is something different that most corporate solar is not going to have anything close to that with what we have through the Power platform. Now, there's Power, and then there's also what we're building with this team. And one thing that I'll tell you is that Go Green has big plans, but anyone that's in this team isn't actually tied to what go. Did we lose the screen sharing, or is it still going?
No, it's still going.
Still going. Okay, perfect. One of the things that I love about just what we're building here is that if someone wants to go and kind of do their own thing down the road, build their own organization, build their own enterprise, that is an option that people have. And that's one of the things that I love about this model is it's like you've got your own solar broker. It's set in a very, very, robust platform that has everything that you would ever want, but you can also make your own team. You can build your team the way that you want to. And the way that we're planning on building this is just that Go Green has the best technology, the best support, the best tools, the best of everything. And that's our goal, to build that in the next 6 to 12 months, so that people that even maybe they could go and start their own enterprise, start their own organization, they're going to see the value that is coming from this company and this team that Jonathan and I are building, so that they can really say wow, I've got so much value here. Like, why would I ever want to go and branch off, do it on my own? But I love the flexibility that you have, the ability to go and branch off, create your own enterprise, run your own show. And that's kind of the beauty of the model, with the revenue share and the flexibility of how you build your business as an entrepreneur. I think that this is the best entrepreneurial option for someone in solar, because not just the flexibility, but also the upside. So as a goal, I think on the recruiting end, 5 to 10 calls a day, 5 to 10 calls a day, just to be offering what the opportunity is. And the beauty of it is, as you get more and more succinct and articulate about what we are offering, you'll be able to have more confidence in these recruiting calls, where you can tie people in at different levels. Maybe they don't want to necessarily quit their job. Maybe they just want this to be a part-time thing that they're doing 4 or 5 installs a year because they're a realtor and they don't want to stop doing what they're doing, but they just want to add to it. We can plug them into that. Maybe it's someone that actually doesn't really want to have any involvement other than just referring people over and making $1,000. We can bring them in as an ambassador. There's pretty much a level at every side of this that you can start, bringing people in to the opportunity. Because when you believe in the opportunity and you're excited about it, people feel that. They love good energy, and excitement is actually contagious. That's something that I've learned, is that emotions, it's kind of crazy. Like, you watch a sad movie and you get sad, right? Or you watch like a super pumped action movie and you get pumped up, right? You have this excitement that you're actually transferring. There's a full transfer of emotions that happens when you really have something you believe in, that you are committed to, and that you're confident about. And so on the recruiting end, I think that you actually have kind of the perfect double-edged sword with this opportunity, where you can bring people in as customers, as referral partners, as additional team members, as lead generators, as ambassadors. There's a little bit of everything, which is why I'm all in on this, and which is why, Jonathan, he would tell you he's been working on me for 6 months to really see the vision of what this has to offer. And it only came to me after I was with 3 different solar companies this year, going through the motions, kind of like figuring out, okay, what do I want? No, I don't like that. What do I want? Okay, I like that. I'm going to take that. But this is the first time that I really had the full picture come together, where I was like, wow, they can actually offer everything that I need to build a huge national organization. And also they give me the flexibility to build the team and the company the way that I want to, which, door knocking, it's always been a part of my business, but it hasn't been the main part of my business. I've been 80% referral based my entire career, never had to buy leads in my entire career. I've always ran that referral business. And that's the cool thing that I think we're also going to be able to build off of, is that we've got some big moves when it comes to our referral trainings, our referral implementation. And I'll just give you a little teaser of something we're working on. We've got some partnerships that are in place right now. Jonathan and I just had a call earlier this week with a key roofing partner on a national level, which will start creating more opportunities for collaborations there. And so we're very, very excited about that. And then the third pillar is training. So on the training side, you've got to become an expert. You've got to know the products. You've got to know how batteries work. You've got to know what the Inflation Reduction Act says, like actually study the IRA so that you can understand what the move to domestic materials and domestic content actually means and how that affects you and your business and everything that we're doing. You've got to know, first of all, how to sell solar, but how to sell solar in different ways. You've got to know how to sell a PPA and a lease. You've got to know how to sell a loan, how to sell a cash deal. All of this, we are going to be able to help you to learn how to do that. And so our team meetings is going to be one resource. We only do one a week. That's probably how it'll stay. I think we'll just do our Thursday team meetings weekly. At least right now, that's kind of how we're feeling. And then we've got some podcasts and webinars that we'll also be able to be sharing. I wanted to show this. So this right here is actually our Authentic platform. So with Authentic basically is a massive training platform that Danny Pesci, my good friend, created. And with this, we're going to be able to give access to the people on our team in our organization with Go Green to this training. It typically is quite expensive, to be honest. But because of my partnership with Authentic, being a trainer and a coach with them for most of this year, this is just something that we're very excited to build. So on that level, it's one of these things that I honestly feel like once you start actually seeing how the training platform works, here, let's look at this right here. Oh, might have frozen. So you'll be able to see this. I'm going to give the team access to this. So as you are becoming an expert and getting better and better and better with, hold on one sec. There we go. New training center. So as you're getting better and better at what we do, you're going to be able to learn from some of the best in the business. This is like just kind of a little bit semi-stuck right now, to be honest.
Is it not going into the training center?
I think it might just be my computer. But yeah, the whole platform, we'll dive into that, and I'm going to be sharing access with that. So that's one of the things that I'm so stoked about is how we can truly help our team to level up, to be able to become an expert at solar, where you're a true solar professional, where you're a solar pro. And that extra training that we are able to offer people through Authentic, that is going to be one of the next level parts of what we're building here with Go Green. Is you can learn from some of the top people in the industry about closing. You can learn about door knocking. It's mainly almost like a door knocking training platform, but they also have people like Ricardo Ricky, who's one of the top closers in the whole industry. He closed 500 plus accounts in 1 year. I think that was last year, but he is just something different. And his close is there on the training that you can actually go and listen to in the Authentic training platform. And be the expert trainer, right? You've got to be confident in what you're doing and in learning what you need to know. And that's why, in your off time, which I would say 1 hour per day, 1 hour per day on training, that is kind of the secret sauce. If you can be doing 1 hour per day on your training, you show up to the weekly meetings on Thursdays, listen to podcasts, log into webinars, tap into the Power ecosystem. They have a lot of trainings there. And then we're also going to be providing top-notch trainings every single month so that you can truly become an expert. So, that's pretty much what I wanted to share today.
Sweet.
Does anyone have any thoughts or ideas or comments?
No, that was great. Thank you.
Cool. So we'll wrap it up here in just a sec. That was awesome, Matt. Thank you for that. Good reminders. Yeah, that's the nuts and bolts of it is the accountability metrics. So what we're going to be doing actually next month is a 2025 solar business planning session. That'll be a little bit longer, probably an hour to an hour and a half. And we'll let you guys know, try to give you guys a couple weeks heads up just so you can kind of plan around that. And I think it's going to be helpful just to kind of, a lot of people transitioning. This is kind of a new move for a lot of us, get into this new space, and we just want to stay, plugged in, focused on the next year coming. 2025 is right around the corner, so we'll have that planning session for you guys to participate. Bring your recruits, bring your team, bring people who just want to plan it, even if they're not on the team yet. It's really good to just have these planning sessions to know, okay, what are my plans for the year? And I think doing it in November is better. Once you get to December, the holidays are there, you're busy, you're kind of already going into holiday mode. So we'll try to do that before Thanksgiving time, probably the third week in November. We'll get that planned out here and give you guys an update. So just look out for that. We'll do a planning session, really kind of, again, reverse engineer the 2025 goals backwards, right? If your goal is to be a full-time, 40, 50 install rep, then what is that going to take, and reverse engineer that with you, and then give you guys a worksheet that you can fill out and put in those goals, and we can save that and help on a management and leadership side to help you guys achieve those goals, help our team achieve those goals. We can do check-ins on that. A couple other things to look out for. So we're going to be transitioning this week from the Slack thread for sales to Collab. So I'll give you guys the details in the Slack thread. Make sure we all get switched over to Collab. Basically, it's just Go High Level's integrated version of kind of team communications. So we'll have a group in there for our sales communications, for sharing trainings, updates, sharing wins, and then also we'll have some kind of internal trainings on top of the authentic trainings as well. So trainings around like me and Matt's referral stuff, we'll keep that in there. We'll have our own little internal library, and then also the podcast that we're going to be coming out with. We actually have our first podcast dropping probably by tomorrow morning is when we're shooting to release it. So look out for that. Me and Matt did a pretty cool in-depth interview, about an hour, of the past 10 years in solar, the past 18 months, all the way up to present, and then what we think the next 6 to 12 months are going to be. So a great resource there. Both of us are fairly plugged into some top leaders, not just, in power, but really across the industry. And there's some neat trends, things to look out for, things to capitalize on, to share with potential customers, partners, again, recruits. I'm excited about that. And then, again, just a reminder that the November 9th, that's probably the biggest one. Make sure we kind of recruit, bring people to that. That's going to be huge. There's going to be a lot of really good energy on that call. So again, it's 10 a.m. to noon for your time zone. So if you're on the East time zone, it's that same time block. If you're, West Coast, same time zone. They're doing 3 different times. I think they're doing Central time zone as well. So anyways, we'll have info on that. Look out for that. And I think that's it for today. So anything else, just reach out to me or Matt offline, and let's rock it and have a good rest of our week.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Enjoy your holiday, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again for everything, and we're stoked to see each of you and the growing team these coming weeks.
Cool. See you guys.